Planning and Urban Development, which is geared at ensuring that we have it good, especially for those of you who are having one or two challenges that relates to the built environment. They are here to help you resolve that as you drive along. You're welcome. My name is Victor Oteri. All right, then. So if you are encountering any kind of challenges within the built environment, the ministry is trying to ensure that you can connect with them all the time and that they can make things much better for you. Also, if you find anything that serves like an infraction on the built environment, the Honorable Commissioner is encouraging that we do some whistle blowing, and that's why they've given out some lines that you can connect with. 070 3065 3241. That's the first number, 070 3065 3241. And you can also send your messages or perhaps call 080 3469 8264. 080 3469 8264. You can also send an email to them. That's you can email physicalplanning@lagostate.gov.ng. physicalplanning@lagostate.gov.ng. All right. So today we're going to be taking you on an excursion to another locality where district officers are playing the role of trying to enhance the building section in Lagos. So we're touching down on that. But that will be after this break. One or two messages. When we return, we'll connect with our guests who are already seated in the studios.
Dear Lagosians, the vision of making Lagos a sustainable and resilient state through community regeneration and inclusive physical planning begins with building right. We all have a role to play in achieving this vision in line with the Lagos State Urban and Regional Plan and Development Law of 2019 as amended. Do you know that before buying a land or building on it, you must check for the permissible use from the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development? Do you know that you must obtain a planning permit and authorization to commence the construction of your building? Do you also know that you require state certification and certificate of completion for building construction in Lagos State? Estate developers must obtain layout approval before developing their estate and obtain full planning permit after the expiration of a provisional planning permit. Their Lagosians, do not carry out unapproved renovation, remodeling or demolition. Do not break the seal on an enforced property. Do not obtain fake planning permits and do not abandon uncompleted buildings. Do not break the law. Build right in accordance with the state operative development plans. Let's work together to make Lagos a sustainable smart city of choice. For more information, download the Lagos State MPP UD app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó Àjùmọ̀ṣe Announcer, Lagos State Government.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. All right, then, so before I bring in my guests to the microphone quickly, let's take you through the roads. And the last update we've got, we did tell you that PWD corridor is very, very busy in what's national. That's if you're coming in from Ile-Zik, you have high influx there. Lots of traffic managers trying to sort out things. National Airport turning PWD Shogunle down to Ladipo, connecting Bolade Oshodi is looking very, very good. Same for the return journey. We're still tracking that impediment that's around Oba Akran inwards Agege, where we did tell you that there was a breakdown there earlier on. So okay, it's by a bank there. Okay, yeah. So we are tracking that, and we're hoping that that would have received attention. Within the Victoria Island corridor, there was an accident earlier on. It's an empty flat body truck that's at Lekki inwards the toll plaza. And at that time, we did tell you that men of LCC are on ground trying to sort out things within that particular location. All right. We are also tracking that as well. And, okay, let me see. Yes, we're also looking at those of you coming in from the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. I understand it's pretty free. If you're coming in from the Arepo end, connecting with the Long Bridge, Kara, down to Beja, that entire stretch all the way to Yanowuru, I understand, is still looking pretty good. So we'll be serving you more L-pins as they come in from time to time. All right, so on Build Right this morning, we are enhancing planning permits and building approvals in Lagos State. And we're doing that from the viewpoint of district officers. We've gone across so many districts, but this morning we're touching down on Koshofe. And joining me in the studios this morning, I have Town Planner Taiwo Kayode, who is Assistant Director, Town Planning Services with the Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority, and he's also the head of Koshofe District Office for LASPA. Town Planner Kayode, nice to have you in the building. Good morning.
Thank you, Good morning.
And how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Okay, then. So he's been joined by Engineer Olanrewaju Oluseyi. Oluseyi rather, right?
Yes, please, yes.
All right. He's a principal civil engineer with the Lagos State Building Control Agency, LAPCA, and he's also the district head of Koshofe District. Nice to have you in the building. Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning. So how's the journey here, both of you?
Pretty smooth, yeah.
It was good, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So last year we had the amnesty program. Let's even start from there. In your locality, at the time it existed, how did it go, Town Planner Kayode?
It was pretty good, and people actually responded very actively, and we dealt with them professionally.
So you had more respondents at that time?
Yes.
So you could say that within the Koshofe district, there were lots of people who had buildings, they had structures, but they didn't have planning permits.
Sure, absolutely.
Is that correct?
Sure, sir.
So out of 10 buildings, if you go around today to do a survey, out of 10 buildings, how many of them do you think had a planning permit at that time?
Well, at that time, maybe out of 10, with the ratio maybe 3 to 10.
Wow, 3 to 10?
Yes, then.
That's a big deficit.
That was then.
Okay, but now things are changing.
Yes, we actually recorded the high, because I remember we gave assessment of up to like over 400, but 400 respondents, and at the end of the day we got 373
approvals.
No, it's 373 applications.
Applications, okay.
Yes.
Wow. Within May to December?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Wow. All right. So at that time, if you had to wait, like how many people visit your office on a daily basis?
In fact,
they were trooping in.
Actively, like you can't even imagine the quantum of
people.
Yes,
they were coming at that time.
Yes.
All right, then let me switch to Engineer Olanrewaju Oluseyi. Talk to me. So how was it during that time? I mean, in terms of people, they were coming for building approvals. How was it?
I mean, there was a large turnout of applicants at that particular period of time. Residents took it upon themselves to, utilize the amnesty period given by the government. The LASPA and LAPCA were both sister agencies. So while they received the applications, we helped them with the screening of drawings.
Okay.
So they come to LASPA first, then they referred down to LAPCA. So we help with the screening of the architectural, structural, or whatever drawings that they may need or required for the planning permits. We help them screen it.
So whatever visit they make to LASPA, they should ensure that they also come to LAPCA.
Definitely.
That's what it means. So during that time, we had so many people that were coming to your office?
Yes. A lot of applications, the as-built applications, remodeling, renovations.
And all of that?
All of them, yeah.
So when we look back with hindsight now, that amnesty ended in December. This is June, another year, 6 months down the line. What do you think? Do you think the amnesty should have been extended, Town Planner Kayode?
Yes, I think the amnesty should be given another window, because at the expiration of the amnesty around that was 31st December.
Hello, good morning.
Okay, just a second. Hello there, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Traffic manager Ladisha from My 12.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to update you. Men of task force are operating at Owode Onirin in Wadi Korodu. It has caused a lot of backlog. I just let you know why we are having it busy at this end.
Okay.
So immediately they are off the road. I will keep you informed.
Okay, that's Owode Onirin in what, Mile 12, right?
Yes, No. In Wadi Korodu.
In Wadi Korodu?
In Wadi Korodu. Yes, that demolishing house is there.
Wow. Okay.
So they are operating. It has caused a lot of backlog. Just for you to know why we are having it busy at this end.
All right then. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so those of you on Ikorodu Road, if you're heading inward to Ikorodu, you're wondering why it is pretty slow. You have the men of the task force. They are doing their thing at Oniri, and it's causing a whole lot of backlog all the way towards Mile 12. So take note of that as you drive through that corridor. So, Tamplana Kawade, you were saying something about the extension?
Yes. As I was saying, I said that they should be given a time. Another window, because after the expiration of the amnesty, that was 31st last year, December. Around January, February, we recorded a lot of turnout, people coming in, trying to give excuses that they could not access their funds
at that time.
Yeah,
so, but don't you think people? I mean, that would give them for some shortcuts.
Well, but now my own candid advice is just to allow whatever we're doing now should be properly. It should meet with standard.
Okay. Properly streamlined.
Properly streamlined to the extent they should meet all the planning parameters.
Right. And Engineer, what's your thinking? Should there be an extension?
I mean, after the expiration of the amnesty period on December 31st, a lot of people came down to our offices, requesting and clamoring for, an extension. I'm sure it's something, senior management would look into.
Okay.
But, the excuses, they preferred was they didn't get the information.
On time.
They didn't get the information on time. That's why they were not able to apply in time to meet the deadline.
Okay.
So a lot of people, there's definitely an appetite, amongst the residents of Lagos for a period where they can take advantage and bring in their application.
So what do you say to those that hold the school of thought that if government to give this kind of extension, there are a lot of people who would rather do a whole lot of backdoor stuff. They'll cut corners, quickly go and do a building because they know there will be an amnesty. They will now come back. What do you say to those people?
My own take is maybe we should the government should consider the age of the building.
Okay.
Probably,
so anything that is new,
anything that is new should not be considered.
Okay.
Probably, give room for the ages of building, like between 5 years, minimum of 3 years or 2. So at least those people can leverage on they can take advantage of it.
And is there a way you could be able to identify that, Engineer Olariwaju, from LabCA's perspective? Will you be able to know which building is 5 years, or perhaps which one is 2 years, or which one is 10 years?
Okay, before I delve into that, I'd like to just say that concerning... Sorry, what was the question you had asked him earlier?
Okay, so it's about the extension. And
the extension, justification of the extension.
Justification. I mean, yes, because there's an amnesty period doesn't mean that all applications will be granted. Yeah. That's one thing I want us to understand here.
Okay.
I mean, if you, for example, you go build on road setbacks or canal setbacks, because there's an amnesty doesn't mean we would approve that application. So it's the amnesty. It's not a clearance for,
It's not a blanket.
It's not a blanket amnesty.
Okay.
Every application will be looked on its own merits before we are either the application is either granted or is rejected.
So there are certain things that you guys look at before you give the approval.
Definitely.
Let's come to your district, which is Koshofé. What's your responsibility there, Town Planner Kawade Taiwo? What's your responsibility as a district officer?
As a district officer, I monitor fiscal development. We process all planning applications. We grant approval to certain levels, certain limits of floors. Like a district officer, I grant 2 floors. Okay. But other ones I recommend for as a concurrent approval to my superior. Like the 3 floors to the supervising directors, 5 and 6 to the GM,
okay,
7 and 8 to the permanent secretary, and
higher ones to the commissioner.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yours is just to give approval for the ground floor and the first floor.
But I process all the applications.
All the applications.
Yes.
Okay, so before you do transfer to your superiors.
Yes.
Apart from that, you give what kind of permits do you give?
We grant renovation permits, revalidation, planning approvals, and
So there are different kinds of permits.
Yes, demolition permit is also
part of it as well.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, we'll get to how long it takes as well. But Engineer Olariwaju, what's your direct responsibility as district head for Koshofé office?
My mandate as an officer of the Lagos State Building Control Agency is 1, we we do screening of drawings for all applications. 2, stage inspection or certification process. We process authorization for commencement of developments. We monitor illegal, non-conforming and distressed buildings, and we treat all sorts of petitions that may arise in the built environment. Those are just some of the core functions we perform as an agency and as a district head of Koshofe.
All right, let's touch down on Koshofe itself as a locality. So, Town Planner Taiwo,
Yes.
Where is Koshofe located, and of course, which communities border Koshofe where you superintend?
Well, we have Oroshoki, we have Mende, we have Ojota, Alakpere, Owode-Oniri, and then we have Antoni. They are all within Koshofe. The Owode-Oniri is bounded, it's a boundary. Yes, there is a boundary with Ikorodu.
Okay.
So,
but all those corridors you superintend over
there. Bagada and all we have pockets of government schemes around Ogudu, Millennium Estates, and the rest. Yes.
All right. So all those areas you are in charge of them.
Yes.
Ojota.
Yes.
Those are even mile 12 too.
Yes.
And all the way to Udi.
K2.
Yes. K2 as well.
Yes.
All right, Engineer Olanwaju, what's your area of supervision?
It's similar to what Town Planner has said. But for Bagada, we have Shomolu Bagada and there's Koshofe Bagada. So it's the Bagada, also the expressway that divides Koshofe and Shomolu Bariga. Then, of course, we have Oworonshoki, Ogudu, Anthony Mende, parts of Maryland, Anthony, then parts of Ojota as well too. So basically similar areas as stated earlier by the town planner.
All right, then, so a flash update says that on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, I did tell you that if you're coming in from Arikbo end, connecting with Beja, all those corridors are still looking good. But at the rear, I understand there's a slow movement at Nasfat U-turn. This is due to the evacuation of the accidented trucks within that particular location. All right, so that's for those of you who are coming into Lagos, probably if you're coming in from the Mowe end, by the time you approach Nasfat, it might be slow a bit there, but no major worries. All right, so you talk about the kind of permits that you issue, Town Planner Taiwo, earlier on.
Yes, sir.
How long does it take for you to give those planning permit approvals?
We operate a 10 days deal. That's 10 days.
Okay, so within 10 days,
Yes.
any of those permits will be issued.
Sure, absolutely.
Are there reasons why those permits will not be issued?
Maybe in the documentations are always the cost, because most of the applicants, they don't have a genuine or correct documentations. Is that they have a faulty survey plan and probably the title. So those are the things. And sometimes when we visit the site and we notice some other infractions, like some other hindrances.
Encroachment?
No, apart from the yes, encroachment. Apart from the physical thing that may likely hindrance the development.
Right.
Yes.
So once you notice that,
Yes,
you might
yes.
not be able to give that kind of approval.
The first thing is just we chart the survey, because the survey gives the directions whether if the land is actually falls under government acquisitions, or is on drainage, or is on water and the rest. So,
all right. So, Engineer Olanwaju, how would you describe Koshofe? Is it a built environment or is developing?
Koshofe is pretty built up. I mean, starting from Ogudu, like I said, Ogudu, it's a very famous area. Ogudu, Bagada, Anthony Mende, these are pretty built up areas. Where you could still have some, vacant spaces, maybe the Oworonshoki and parts of Ifako. So, but I'd say holistically, Koshofe is pretty built up.
All right. So, anybody that wants to get any of those planning permits today, probably you have to already buy a developed structure, and then they would now approach for demolition.
Yes,
redevelopment.
Oh, redevelopment.
Yes.
That's the way it works.
Yes.
All right, then Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Build Right is the program. And this morning on Build Right, we are at Koshofe, and we're looking at how district officers are enhancing the building process in that particular locality. And I have with me in the studios this morning district officers from that place. Town Planner Taiwo Karide is Assistant Director, Town Planning Services with LASPA, and he's also the head of Koshofe Koshofe district. I also have engineer Olarinwaju Olusheye, who is a principal civil engineer with LAPCA at the district officer of Koshofe. We're going to take a short break right now. When we return, it'll be time to hear from you. You can join the conversation as well on 091 5387 7127 091 53877127. You can ask them any question, and if you have any building projects that you are carrying out within that particular locality or perhaps anywhere in Lagos, feel free to join the conversation as well. A brief break, we'll be back.
Dear Lagosians, the vision of making Lagos a sustainable and resilient state through community regeneration and inclusive physical planning begins with building right. We all have a role to play in achieving this vision in line with the Lagos State Urban and Regional Plan and Development Law of 2019 as amended. Do you know that before buying a land or building on it, you must check for the permissible use from the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development? Do you know that you must obtain a planning permit and authorization to commence the construction of your building? Do you also know that you require state certification and certificate of completion for building construction in Lagos State? Estate developers must obtain layout approval before developing their estate and obtain full planning permit after the expiration of a provisional planning permit. Their Lagosians, do not carry out unapproved renovation, remodeling or demolition. Do not break the seal on an enforced property. Do not obtain fake planning permits and do not abandon uncompleted buildings. Do not break the law. Build right in accordance with the state operative development plans. Let's work together to make Lagos a sustainable smart city of choice. For more information, download the Lagos State MPP UD app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, Àjùmọ̀ṣe Announcer, Lagos State Government.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Build Right is the program, and I see my friends from Koshofe District. They are district officers there trying to ensure that you have seamless kind of processing for your planning permits and building approval. So back to the roads. We did hear from the traffic manager covering the Mile 12 corridor. He did say at Uwodunimi, you have the men of the task force. They are carrying out their enforcement within that particular location. And inwards Ikorodu is pretty busy. Backlog somewhere around Mile 12 right now. And those of you making the journey to the island, I can tell you that the Third Milan Bridge is still very, very accessible at this time. So take note of that as you drive along. So you can also join the conversation at this time, and that's on 091 5387 7127. That's 091 5387 7127. Feel free to join the conversation as well. Let's get to the issue of developers and how you relate with them. Town planner, Kaide, Taiwo, the developers, because I know a lot of times people want to come around, they want to cut corners and all of that. So what kind of engagement are you having with developers within the Koshofe district?
Yes, we try to sensitize them because Koshofe has we have what we call operative development plan, and there's a Koshofe model city plan which guides all development in terms of height, density, and what have you. So any developer coming in, we always make them realize that there's a law, there's an extant law
that's on ground.
Yeah, that's on ground. So all those things are even accessible.
So like how many floors can I build in Koshofe?
No, it depends on well, like Koshofe is different, like where you have a government scheme like Ugudu, and it depends on the plot and block number. The maximum floor in those areas is 4 floors.
4 floors?
Yes.
So I cannot do like 8-floor building there?
No.
Is that for reasons of safety or what?
Well, it depends, except some pockets of the LSDPC area where that thing has been reviewed to certain heights. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right, then this one says, good morning, everyone in the studios. Please, are there digital platforms now that can help speed up building approvals? This is coming in from Okpaolua. Okpaolua, thank you so much. So do you have digital platforms?
No, there's EPP, yes.
Okay, the EPP platform?
Yes, EPP platform.
That people can get all this information?
Yes, everything, yes.
Okay. All right, 08099120777. You can send your messages to that, and 0915387 7127. Those are the numbers that you can use to connect us in the studios this morning. This one says, good morning, Mr. Victor. Please ask the gentleman in the studio that how does their office address disputes over land ownership? In Koshofe. Thanks, Solomon is sending this one in. So, do you guys handle that, Engineer Olanroju?
Well, that's not a land dispute. It's not one of the core functions of the Lagos State Building Control Agency. I think the best agency I'll advise the person that asks the question is to go to the Land Grabbers Committee in Alausa. Okay. They are the ones statutorily charged with resolving such disputes. We just deal with buildings. So if you're building and number one, you don't have an approval, you don't have a certificate of completion for fitness and habitation, or you're building on setbacks, on canals or drainages, LAPCA will definitely look into it, and the such developments will be, checked.
Let's talk about what LAPCA is doing to developers, because a lot of times when you go out these days, you want to rent a house, you now see lots of conversions that are taking place, a 3-bedroom flat, because probably the landlords want to make maximum gains. They now suddenly want to turn it into a 5-bedroom or that kind of a thing, and you see those rooms very, very small in space. So what are you doing to curtail that, LAPCA?
Okay, one of the functions of LAPCA is monitoring of all fiscal developments in the state. But precisely because I cover Koshofe, that will be for Koshofe. So we definitely do go out to monitor. But like I always say, we're not God. We're not omnipresent, omniscient, or omnipotent. We also rely on information from people. So if you happen to see any of such developments, please, you can come down to our office. Or we actually have a toll-free line in LAPCA that you can call. I don't know whether I can, read that out.
Yes, you can.
Okay, 080. Sorry, 2 seconds. Let me just quickly open it.
Okay. All right. So while he's doing that, you can send in your questions or perhaps send in your concerns as it relates to buildings. And if you are within the Koshofe end as well, feel free to connect with us. 09153877127. Do you have the number now?
Yes. Yeah. The toll-free line 0800 LAPCA.
Okay.
0800 LAPCA. That's the toll-free line. Or just come to our head office at Moise Banirewe in Ikeja, Jire, or the district office at Ogudu Roundabout here in Ogudu. We'll definitely listen to all complaints and all suggestions.
All right. This one says, good morning, Traffic Radio. Why are some houses built several years ago just being marked for demolition? And how can landlords prevent this? Yetunde is sending this one in from K2.
Okay. And there are several reasons why a building might be, marked. Sometimes it could be issues of petitions, but sometimes we get requests from the Land Grabbers Committee after they may have done due diligence. I mean, the person that raised the earlier question on issues of land disputes, they may have gone to Land Grabbers, and there may be a court order stating that such encumbrances be removed. So there are various reasons why even after 5-10 years buildings can come back and be marked. That's why it's always important to do the right thing at the right time. So if you have an approval or you have a development permit and you've built according to what your approval has stated, you should entertain no such fears that the government would come. The only reason why the government may then come to demolish either issues of development, whether road expansions or compulsory acquisition. Now the government definitely pays a compensation for such things.
All right. Okay, then.
Sorry, in addition, sometimes the reason is always maybe the building is found
Yes.
distressed.
Okay.
That's another point of where such a building can be marked.
All right. So if people see buildings that are distressed, I mean, what do you mean by distress now? So for those who are listening to us, so that they will know when they say a building is distressed, what are the signs?
Fiscally unfit. Well, the engineer should be able to
explain that for us.
There are visible signs, that one notices to identify a building as distressed. Number one, you see spoiling of concrete, corroded exposed reinforcement, cracks on structural members like columns, beams, and the slabs. Sometimes issues of differential settlement, dampness all over the walls. But a scientific way of actually gauging whether the building is actually distressed is what we encourage those developers to conduct a test that we call non-destructive test. That's conducted by the Lagos State Materials Testing Laboratory. So it's the basis of that result, of that test, that will then fully determine that, yes, this building is distressed. So it either needs to be remodeled, renovated, or it has to be demolished.
Okay. As a message here, it says, good morning, Town Planner Coyote. How do you monitor building projects in your district to ensure that they align with approved plans?
So,
Yemi Salami is sending that one in. I think that question should have gone to engineer.
Yes.
Olarwaju, right?
So we also do monitoring as well. We identify various constructions, and sometimes we relate it, we send it to the LAPCA to do further. Our own is just to establish if the property actually have an approval or not.
Okay.
That is it. So if it's now going against, maybe it has some infractions. So we'll push those things to LAPCA.
Engineer Olarwaju, so from your assessment, when you look around from all those areas that you supervise, how would you describe the state of buildings there? Do we have more defective buildings, or are people complying?
What do you mean defective? Do you mean distressed buildings?
Yes, distressed, maybe some that are not really up to scratch. How would you describe it in all those areas? From from Bagada, the areas you've mentioned.
Okay, I'll take it in sections. Ogudu, GRA, both phase 1 and phase 2. The buildings there, are well done. I think that happens because you have more affluent persons staying there, so they tend to want to engage the relevant professionals in the construction of their buildings. In some parts of Ojota, because we have some very old buildings there, so you have some of them that
are defective
and are distressed, and we're identifying a lot of them. We also have abandoned buildings as well, to which we are, marking and identifying, because abandoned buildings, they're havens for all sorts of,
habitations.
Exactly. So we're definitely looking into those ones. Then overall, you have mostly bungalow structures and, some 2-floor structures. So it's a mix, depending on the area you're talking about.
All right. So where's your office located, Town Planner Kaide?
It's on Ogudu Road by Farm City. Yes.
Okay. And what about you, Engineer Olarwaju?
It's same thing along Ogudu Road, but it's just by the roundabout.
Okay. So both of you occupy the same building?
No, not too far from
each other.
All
right.
But along same Ogudu Road.
All right. So as we round off, what's your message to our people, Town Planner Kaide?
Well, they should be law-abiding and cooperate with the government, as well as help us in dealing with, help us in helping them.
Okay. And Olarwaju, Engineer Orishaye?
We just want to encourage every developer out there to do the right thing, to build well. There's been a lot of sensitization out there, amongst various stakeholders. There's actually going to be one coming up in July 8th and 9th. That's a partnership with the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development.
Right.
So we just encourage people to do the right thing, build well, and let's stay safe.
All right, then we'll leave it at that for now. Thank you so much for being here, gentlemen. All right, so we're trying to enhance planning permits and building approvals in Lagos State. And we've been doing that from the viewpoint of district officers within the Koshofe locality. Town Planner Taiwo Kayode is Assistant Director, Town Planning Services with LASPA, and is also the head of Koshofe District. Same for Engineer Olarwaju Olusheye, who is our Principal Civil Engineer with LAPCA and the District Head of Koshofe. We have to go. Mike James has produced the program as usual. Maximum shout out going out to Akinsoya Adetola, Chief Public Affairs Officer for the Ministry. Same for Sanusi, who is also the Director. That's the Director of Public Affairs for the ministry as well. In the studios this morning, Stella Amadasun, maximum shout out going out to you. Same for our social media team, Okpayemi Shodunke and Remy Aluko. I say a big thank you to our executive producer, Tayo Akonle. My name is Victor Oteri. I'm out. Stay very much within. Bye.
Dear Lagosians, the vision of making Lagos a sustainable and resilient state through community regeneration and inclusive physical planning begins with building right. We all have a role to play in achieving this vision in line with the Lagos State Urban and Regional Plan and Development Law of 2019 as amended. Do you know that before buying a land or building on it, you must check for the permissible use from the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development? Do you know that you must obtain a planning permit and authorization to commence the construction of your building? Do you also know that you require state certification and certificate of completion for building construction in Lagos State? Estate developers must obtain layout approval before developing their estate and obtain full planning permit after the expiration of a provisional planning permit. Their Lagosians, do not carry out unapproved renovation, remodeling or demolition. Do not break the seal on an enforced property.